Hey guys, Dalek44 here. I need no introduction, but I've got one anyway. It's been 70 years of the Railway series. Yeah, I just wanted to point that out for like the two of you who have no idea.
That's right, folks. This year marks the 70th anniversary of the Railway series, written by the Reverend W. Audrey, and then later on by his son Christopher Audrey. They ran strong from 1945 to 2011, with a TV series based on the book still going strong today.
And the best part of the whole celebration was the direct-to-DVD 45-minute special simply known as The Adventure Begins.
Before I talk about this most recent film based on the Railway series, I'll just talk about the history of the Railway series real quick. You see, during the...
If you say during the war, I'm going to pour this cup of tea right over your head.
Oh, sorry, Del Boy. During the 1939-1945 conflict with Germany, Wilbert Audrey's young son Christopher was ill with measles. To entertain his bedridden son, Wilbert told stories talking about engines named Edward, Gordon and Henry. Even though these stories were written in 1943, they weren't published until 1945, which was the end of our conflict with Germany, as a book called The Three Railway Engines. Sometime after that, a second book titled Thomas the Tank Engine was written and introduced the world to the little blue tank engine we all know. Wilbert Audrey wrote these stories until 1972 when he retired. In 1983, Christopher Audrey took over writing the stories for his retired father, and wrote new Railway series titles until the late 90s. In 2007, he wrote the last known Railway series book to be written, which would be honouring his father's 100th birthday. In 1984, a TV series was screenlit by Wilbert Audrey with the help of Britt Allcroft and David Mitton, with famous Beatles drummer Ringo Starr telling the stories. Then after two series, Ringo retired from storytelling and moved on to his musical career while Michael Angelis took over as the narrator. After the success of the first 5 series of Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, Britt Allcroft wrote the 2000 movie Thomas and the Magic Railroad, which was a bomb in the box office, and yet the DVD and VHS sales went through the roof. After that, loads more series of Thomas the Tank Engine was made until Britt Allcroft and David Mitton retired later on. Then Hit Entertainment took over and made the show, well, let's just say not as good as it used to be. Then when a new head writer came on for the 17th series, the show started to go back up Gordon's Hill again without stopping. No pun intended. And the series is still going on today, with new episodes on TV with full CGI animation instead of the models, and a bunch of feature-length specials that star the Blue Tank Engine. Some memorable, and some we'd like to forget. And the most recent one is this direct-to-DVD Asda exclusive film called The Adventure Begins, which was based off of the first 2 books from the Railway series, The Three Railway Engines and Thomas the Tank Engine.
Okay, so how does a 45-minute adaptation of the first 2 books from the Railway series hold up, even though it was first adapted for the TV series in 1984? Well, let's go through the story to find out.
Being a retelling of the first 2 Railway series books, which were previously adapted for the first series of the TV series in 1984, it contains elements from both the original stories and TV version, along with new characters and a different narrative. As a little blue tank engine named Thomas discovers a big new world when he arrives on the island of Sodor. Escapades abound as Thomas explores his new home and meets really useful new friends. Finding the true blue meaning of hard work and friendship, Thomas transforms into the #1 engine. So that's the story of this 45-minute special in a nutshell. So what's my opinion of it?
Best Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends special ever.
This was the first time I've ever loved the Thomas the Tank Engine feature-length special since King of the Railway. And there are many reasons to love it too. It's based on 2 books from the Railway series. It isn't changed so much that it's complete shit like a lot of Sharon Miller's writing. And the voice actors do a brilliant job too. And the animation is superb compared to the animation from series 13 to 16. As many of us know, we all got a new actor to voice Thomas the Tank Engine after Ben Small retired. Voice actor John Hassler stepped in as the new voice of Thomas after Ben Small left. And to be completely honest, I find it kinda hard to tell the difference between John and Ben in this special. I mean, I listened to the voice in this special compared to Ben Small's voice, and the two are almost identical.
Are they may not be as big as you, but I'm very hard-working.
Oh, dear, Gordon. I see, you've got stuck on your head again.
I don't know, maybe it's just me, but listen to the two voices back to back to see what I'm getting at. And all the other voice actors who were in the show previously do a really great job with their voices, especially Teresa Gallagher.
Teresa Gallagher, who voices Annie and Clara, does a great job as the both of them as usual. I love how she's both posh and quite cute as the two of them, especially in the scene when they first meet Thomas. He's just so adorable.
Oh, what a sweet little engine. Indeed, Annie. Delightful. You'll go far, Clarabelle. Just you wait and see.
And of course Mark Morrigan, the current narrator of Thomas, narrates this special instead of Ringo.
Why doesn't anybody ever want to meet Ringo?
Now, even though I really love this special, there are two things that really bug me about it. The main one is Henry in his new shape. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not really against Henry's new shape, but it just doesn't feel right in this special. We all know that Henry was in his old shape, which is similar to Gordon's during these stories, and he wouldn't get his new shape until his accident with the Flying Kipper, a few books after this special. So why would they animate Henry in his new shape when he's clearly supposed to be in his old shape?
I mean, come on guys, if you could do some research on the Railway series and the TV series for some of the stuff, then couldn't you have at least animated Henry in his old shape?
And the other nitpick is the fact that Timothy Shed still has its 7th birch when back then it should have only had 6. Like I said with Henry's old shape, they could have at least looked at some of the pictures from the Railway series and even the TV series for inspiration for this. Okay, I've had my little nitpicks, so what's so good about this special that makes me love it more than the other specials? Well, for one thing, this is the first time a TV series episode or even special has been based off the Railway series in years. The last time we had an episode that was based on a story from the Railway series was in Series 4. And even though Britt Allcroft and David Mitton wrote this already for Series 1 with the help of Wilbert Audrey's book, it's still really nice to see it again. It's just the new head writer's version of it, keeping true to the original story but adding some of his new stuff to it too, as well as stuff from the Railway series that we never saw in the TV series. Like, I love how they had James in his black paintwork in this one compared to how we didn't have him in his black paintwork in the TV series.
I think it's awesome to see James in his black paintwork for the first time in the TV series, since we never saw it in the original TV series. I think that's a good callback to the Railway series.
And there was great hints in the special to when James's brake blocks would catch fire because they're made of wood.
There's nothing wrong with wooden brake blocks either.
Unless they catch fire, of course.
I especially love the moments when Thomas and James notice a burning smell every now and then.
Do you smell something smoky, James? Like a burning smell?
No, not really. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Coincidence? I think not!
Also, the runaway and crash scene with James and the troublesome trucks from Thomas and the Breakdown Train was fucking awesome. In fact, I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but this is actually more spectacular than the original Thomas and the Breakdown Train story. For one thing, this is the first time we actually get to see the crash in person. And I also find it interesting to see Thomas go out there to try and save James before the crash. And the way it's animated, and the way it sounds like we're actually there, just makes it look all the more awesome. But I wouldn't go so far as to say it's better than the crash scene from the Flying Kipper. I'd honestly say it's on the same level of awesomeness as the Flying Kipper crash. But for us fans who never got to see the crash in person, it was really awesome to have seen it in this special. I also heard it a really great surprise to hear Mike O'Donnell and Junior Campbell's original music be shown in this special, especially the two songs Really Useful Engine and Troublesome Trucks. They're basically the same as they were, except with a few differences. I also find it really interesting to see Thomas in a different kind of paintwork, like a sort of turquoise paintwork as if he came from the other railway. And that scene when he gets painted blue is really awesome. I especially find it amusing how he was painted his undercoat pink. It almost reminded me of when Henry was painted red in the Railway series books, as just an undercoat. And there's also a lot of funny moments in this special, like when they did the sad story of Henry flashback with everyone trying to pull and push Henry out of the tunnel. And even though they already did this in the TV series, I find it amusing how the Fat Controller made his excuses for not helping them.
My doctor has forbidden me to pull. My doctor has also forbidden me to push.
Even though Ringo Starr already did it, the way the actor does it in this special is really funny and comedic. I just couldn't stop laughing the way he reacted to everybody looking at him while he wasn't helping. I also find it very interesting how the Breakdown Train have lives of their own. Like back in the TV series, they didn't really have any personalities, they were just faceless and lifeless cranes. But here they actually do have personalities. A female crane named Judy and a male crane named Giraffe. And I'm assuming they're brother and sister, or possibly twins, or maybe both, I don't know. But I find these two very entertaining. Every time you see them on screen, they're always very eager to go rescue someone who needs help. But when they don't have anything to do, they're always happy to just have 40 winks in the yard. Which looks really good, by the way. And there's a new character in this special that comes up later on, but I won't really give anything away. You'll have to watch it and see. And also, I thought it was just amazing to see Farquhar again after all these years. I mean, we all know that that's the last stop at Thomas's branch line for many years. But for many years since his entertainment took over, we never actually saw it for God knows how long. So it was really great to see it again. This special is just full of great stuff that's a good callback to the original TV series as well as the Railway series. So despite the two problems I have with this, which are Henry being in his new shape when he's supposed to be in his old shape and Tim of Shed supposed to be having 6 berths instead of 7 berths, this is a really great special.
For a 45-minute direct-to-DVD special based on Thomas the Tank Engine, this one holds up really, really well. In fact, I go so far as to say that it's better than any of the other specials combined.
And I know a lot of people are saying that Sildor's Legend of the Lost Treasure is a great special too, but I haven't really seen that one yet. But the chances are I will go see it. I mean, it does look great from the trailers. It would be nice to see some Railway Series characters again, and John Hurt's voice is brilliant as Sailor John. From the trailers at the moment. But for now, The Adventure Begins is by far the best Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends special ever, and it was worth the buy at Asda.
There's definitely no doubt in my mind when I say that The Adventure Begins is the best way to celebrate 70 years of the Railway series. And if you haven't seen it yet, then go to the shop and check it out for yourselves. You won't be disappointed. This is Dalek44 saying Happy 70th Anniversary Railway series, and long may it last forever.